Humans have a natural fear of the dark. The dark is one of our biggest enemies. The dark is what we fear the most. As we got stronger, we feared the dark less. We could fight the unknown in the dark. However, the fear always lingered in our animal brains. The part of our brains that tells us information that saves our lives. The one that tells us to fight or flight. The one that makes us check twice to see if that really is a floating ghost or a pile of clothes in the dark. And you never ignore this part of your brain. One day, you might regret it, like I did. I take walks with my dog, from 3 a.m. to 3:33 a.m. The illogical side of my brain always tells me not to, but the logical side says that nothing bad would happen. My dog is a German Shepherd, and I'm a 6'9" male. I don't believe in ghosts, and I doubt muggers would try to rob me if one were to come by. I walk straight and take a right turn to circle back to my house. There is a forest at this turn. I never really look at it, but I make sure to walk a bit faster when my back is turned. This time, I decided to go into the forest, in the dark. My instincts, the illogical side of my brain, made up scary images and ideas to scare me away from the pitch black forest. It even leaked into the logical side of my brain. I stood there. I couldn't move. I breathed in for 4 seconds, then breathed out and walked.
Stop! Don't walk!
I heard. It was my own voice that called out to me. The voice in my head, my subconscious. I guess it was trying to prevent me from walking into the death trap, but I carried on. I walked down the path surrounded by trees. I couldn't see the sky. I couldn't see beyond the trees. Hell, I could barely see in front of me. It was cold. My dog practically hugged my leg. I was sweating and decided to walk back. I was only 8 meters into the forest, yet when I looked back, I couldn't see the exit, nor the path. Just more trees. I heard a twig break. I snapped behind me and saw nothing out of the ordinary. Then a couple leaves crunched. I turned back. Nothing out of the ordinary. I walked in that direction, hoping that I'd see the path again. I turned on my phone for light. It also said 3:16 a.m. A large tree branch broke off and a scream about 80 meters followed right after. It was like a woman screaming for her life. It came closer and louder. It wasn't long before I realized it was coming my direction. I took off the leash of my dog and said, "Run!" I bolted opposite and screaming, my dog right beside me, terrified as much as I was. I ran as fast as I could with all the trees in my way. The screaming suddenly stopped. I kept running, but eventually slowed down. I turned to my dog, only to see nothing there. I stupidly shouted, "Maxie!" I regretted it as a voice behind me spoke. It was a chilling voice, deep voice.
"Greg."
It spoke. I turned around slowly to see a dark figure with red eyes. How do you know my name?" I whimpered.
"Greg, you should have listened to me."
It spoke. The red eyes connected with a line. It was then I realized that it was its mouth. It grinned from ear to ear with its red mouth. It showed its teeth, dark, red, sharp. Its eyes opened. It was a red outline with white around a purple spot.
"You should have listened to me, Greg."
It spoke again, but its mouth didn't move. I checked my phone, 3:16. I looked back up and it was slightly closer. No way I was still on the same minute. That was impossible.
"Tick-tock, Greg. Time's running out."
It spoke to me once again as it took another step forward. I say another step, but I looked down and it had no legs.
"Lapel du vide, Greg. This whole thing is lapel du vide."
It spoke. What's that? I asked with a shiver.
"Greg, time's up."
It spoke before it jumped at me. Its face opened up and I felt a large bite down my neck. It was black for a solid 2 seconds. Then I woke in front of the forest. I checked the time, 3:16 a.m. I felt my dog beside me, as happy as ever. I took a deep breath and looked at the forest. I saw the monster there, with its face smiling at me. It stared into me as it slowly disappeared into the forest. I ran back home with my dog. I checked the mirror with the light on to see a faint scratch mark. The lights went out. I shut my eyes. Usually I would carry on doing what I was doing until it became impossible in the dark. But no way was I about to disobey my instincts again by looking into a mirror in the dark. The lights came back on. I fell asleep with the lights on. The next day I was talking to my girlfriend who is French. She told me that when she was younger, she was on a bridge and experienced lapel du vide, she called it. My heart sank. I asked her what it meant. She was surprised and said it translated to call of the void. where your brain imagines something stupid like jumping off a cliff. My hand went to my neck where I saw the mark. I felt nothing, although I should have. "Is there something on my neck?" I asked her. "No," she replied swiftly as if nothing was wrong. I went back on my walk again for the last time. This time, I brought my girlfriend. I said it would be romantic or whatever if we did. She accepted. I walked to the forest and looked at it. I saw the monster's face. My girlfriend asked what I was looking at. Clearly, she couldn't see it. She said she wanted to walk into the forest a bit. I denied it after my experience. She said that she felt something telling her not to do it, but wanted an adrenaline spike. She walked right in. Last I heard was the screams of her, the same screams that I had heard earlier. They found her body mangled and ripped apart. They say from a bear, but I know better. I never walked into the forest. Instead, I imagined what would happen, and it stopped me. My girlfriend couldn't say the same. She denied her instincts and paid the price. She walked into the dark like I almost did. Listen to your instincts.
Fear.